Welcome to the off-season. Who are the 3 most important players for your team's success? And more importantly, where do they rank across the NRL? Hey, it's Longy here from The Casual Athlete. Today we're going to be looking at every team's big 3 and ranking them from 16th all the way to 1st. In 16th place, we've got the Tigers. I don't mind this roster in general, they've got a ton of young talent across the board. Adam Doueihi was on another level in 2021, and Stefano Utoikamanu looks more and more like an origin prop with every game he plays. In 15th spot, we're looking at the Cowboys. Really tough team to rank. You could make a case for guys like Holmes or even Hamiso in that top 3. Saying that, I really do enjoy the spark that Drinkwater brings to this attack, and we all know how good Jason Taumalolo can be. Number 14, here come the Bulldogs. It was tough to pick just 3 guys here. We've got some honourable mentions going out to Paul Vaughan, Matt Duffy and Luke Thompson here as well. The Dogs have a really explosive core, but they're still unproven and still very untested at this stage. Saying that, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they could pull it together and potentially make a push for the top 8 next year. Next up, the Dragons flying into 13th place. Now here's my theory on the Dragons. Next season we're going to be talking a lot about a young guy called Tyrell Sloan. In limited appearances, he actually led the league in support lines run per game and scored a ton of tries because of it. Saying that, based on the current big 3, we know that Zach Lomax is a really talented centre, and in my eyes, he's one of the top 3 centres in the game. Outside of that, Ben Hunt and Jack Bird are both really classy acts, and we know what they can do. Swimming into 12th, the Sharkies. Similar situation to the Bulldogs, I really do like the upside of this roster. Saying that, one of the big questions I have going into 2022 is whether Nicho Hynes can get it done outside of the Melbourne system. From everything we've seen so far, it does look like he's got the talent to do it, but I'll be watching very closely. Beyond that, you know exactly what you're going to get from Cam McInnes, and we've just seen Will Kennedy come off a career year in 2021. In 11th place, we've got the Raiders. While the Raiders were really disappointing in 2021, you can't question the fire that Josh Papali brings to every game. Outside of that, Jack Whiten is still one of the premier 5'8s in the game, and Jordan Rapana is one of the most damaging ball runners in the NRL. Rounding out the top 10, we've got the Warriors. Now, I'm really excited to watch this team in 2022. With Reece Walsh having burst onto the scene, Sean Johnson being added to an already explosive roster, this should be an attacking juggernaut next year. Aside from that, Tohu Harris is one of the most consistent forwards in the NRL. He can play anywhere from the edge to prop, and he forms a powerful 1-2 punch with Aden Fanua-Blake. Surging into the 9th spot, we have the Gold Coast Titans. 3 genuine Queensland Origin level players here, they've completely changed their roster in recent years. Now, I'm not saying that he's the perfect player, but Dave Fifita on his day is the most talented forward in the NRL. What I really enjoy here though is Big Tino. You could see in the important moments that Tino is always the player chasing down a break or putting on a big defensive effort to try and win games for his team. Overall, I really expect this big 3 to mature nicely. On to the top 8, we have the Knights. All top line talent here, but they're going to need to step it up in the postseason to move any higher on this list. Frizzell was a really classy addition to this team, and Dan Safidi's been going from strength to strength. As for Kalen Ponga, he is must-watch TV. One of the most exciting players in the game. Galloping into 7th, Adam Reynolds and the Brisbane Broncos. This one's going to ruffle some feathers, but the Brisbane Big 3 is really strong. Payne Haas is arguably the best prop in the NRL. Kotoni Staggs has really struggled with injuries, but on his day, he is the best centre in the league. With Adam Reynolds now steering the ship, this is a really strong core heading into 2022. Now interestingly, this top 6 teams actually formed the same 6 who led the NRL in 2021. It really goes to show that a team's core players are really the most important determinant to their success. Rounding out the top 6, we have Parramatta. It was really difficult to pick just one forward amongst guys like Isaiah Papali'i and Regan Campbell-Gillard. Saying that, Junior Paulo is the NRL's best offloader. Now hear me out. Over the last 3 seasons, Junior's ranked 1st and 3rd in the NRL in offloads. Outside of this, King Gutho's motor is unmatched. He's a premier playmaker and an ace on defence as well. Saying that, I'd really like to see these boys rack up some finals wins before I move them any higher. In 5th, we have 2021's Premiership runner-up, the Bunnies. Cody Walker's coming off one of the most effective playmaking seasons in the history of the NRL, and we all know how good Cam Murray is through the middle. The real wildcard in this big 3 is Latrell Mitchell. The improvement in his game over the last 2 years is astounding. It's commonly known that Latrell was coming across from the Roosters as a centre, trying to convert into that fullback role. In 2020, he looked dangerous, but it takes a bit of time to develop match fitness in that position. However, in 2021, Latrell seemed to have the stamina and the fitness to really let loose, and it really showed up in both his attack, his defence, and his positional play too. And who knows with Latrell, he might take yet another leap this offseason. Flying into fourth, we have Teddy, Keary, and Crichton. Now don't be sleeping on these Roosters. Tedesco's a clear top 3 player in the NRL, and there's a reason why this team was able to win back-to-back premierships in 2018 and 2019. Honourable mentions also go out to Warrior-Hargreaves, Victor Radley, and Joey Manu, who could have easily been mentioned here. Claiming third place is the Manly Sea Eagles. They've got the Trbojevic brothers and DC. When ranking the top 3, I definitely considered putting Manly a bit higher than this. Tommy Turbo is arguably the best player in the league right now. Jake provides a ton in both attack and defence, and DCE is one of the premier halves in the NRL. Roaring into second place, the 2021 premiers, the Penrith Panthers. The Panthers have an incredibly balanced roster stacked with genuine superstars. Nathan Cleary is obviously the best half in the NRL, and he's really been transcendent in recent years. Brian To'o also took a huge step in 2021, cementing himself as the best winger in the comp. And while somewhat understated, Isaiah Yeo is the most crucial piece in this premiership winning defence. And finally, the number 1 spot, we have the Storm. Craig Bellamy's always built his rosters with core superstars surrounded by really reliable role players. Cam Munster's the face of this trio, having a reputation for big performances in the big games. Pappenhausen's electrifying, and Brandon Smith adds another layer to this already dynamic Melbourne attack. The Storm broke offensive records in 2021, and this big 3 were at the centre of it. As always, subscribe if you're keen to see more, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you next time.